what's up everybody, my name is Elijah and I'm here with another episode of Minecraft, and today we're going to be doing some more stuff on Diamond Fire. Real quick, I'm going to tell you guys the solution to the challenge I gave you guys last time. So I was basically challenging you to recreate the join thing, but for when the player leaves. So what you would have done is gone into player event, selected when a player quits the game event, and then you would have just sent them a message, communication, send message. You would have set it to all players so that everyone received it, and then you would have just done something like, it doesn't really matter what you said here, as long as you said goodbye and or something like that, and you use percent player. So, yeah. Just get that. And so yeah, that's pretty much all you had to do. So now, when I play the game, it will say welcome and goodbye. So yeah, that's pretty much all you had to do. Now I'm going to be showing you guys the next thing that we're going to be learning, which is how to detect clicking. So like either a left click or a right click. And the way we're going to be showing this today is also through a gun tutorial, because guns are something that people like. So we'll start with player right click because it's first in the order. So it's the third thing, the diamond pickaxe, player right click event. Once you click on that, it will appear right here, and then we can get right into this. So whenever a player right clicks, you don't want it to always shoot no matter when they right click, so you need to detect if they're holding the gun, right? So now we're going to use if player. This is how you find out what the player is doing when they right click. So you can, for example, for this one, we're going to want to say is holding item. So this chest right here, the second item down, is holding item. So as you can see, it says in the chest, which is what you need to put in the chest, is the item that they're holding. So we're going to put is holding item. Then we need to get some kind of gun. So for this, I'm just going to use, I guess, use an iron hoe, and let's just you can do /rename, and then space whatever you want to name it. So let's just say I'm gonna use AN7 because it's kind of a light gray. Let's just say assault rifle. Now we're gonna want to put in that into there. So now whenever a player right clicks, if they're holding the assault rifle, it needs to do something, right? So now we're gonna say we're going to want a player action, and for an if statement, no matter what kind of if statement, for this one specifically we're doing if player, anything inside of the this and this piston, anything inside of this will only be ran if both the player event and the if player, or whatever if statement you used, is active, like at that time, if that makes any sense, which it should. Now we're going to want to do a player action inside of these brackets, so only whenever a player right clicks and if they're holding the weapon. Now we want to do a player action and then projectiles tab right here, this arrow, and then it only gives you two options. For this one we're going to be using the launch projectile, and as you can see, this thing shows you a big list of things in the chest for this one. If you see that little asterisk to the right of it, which everything except for the projectile has it, it's optional, but you do, if you want something like the number for the launch speed, you do need the text because it doesn't give you, I mean, you have to do it in order, so I'm pretty sure. So let's start with the projectile. So for this one, we're just going to be launching an arrow as our bullet, and so we can put in the arrow, and then if we want to make it more complicated, we can put in a text, and for this one, I'm just going to be using, you can name it, like, for example, we can name it, let's just do that. So AR, which is what assault rifle stands for, or what it stands for, assault rifle, and then we're gonna say just bullet, so that it's just a way to show that this is working, basically. And then what comes next is the number, which is the launch speed, then a location, which is the point where it launches from, and then a particle effect. So let's just start with the number because that's what's in order. For the launch speed, let's just say 2. So it's going to go 2 times faster than a normal arrow would go when it launches from a bow, because obviously we want it to go faster. So now a location, and you can actually change that to whatever. If you set it to like 1,000, it's just going to go boom, like really fast. So like that might be good for a sniper or something. Now the location, we can actually, if you get a location out of your variables, which is right here, what you can do is hold down sneak and right click on it, and it comes up with all these options. For this one, we're just going to be doing default players because whatever player activated this. So as you can see, we have this one that says default player, and then we just launch it from them. and we can fidget with that a little more later, and I'll show you that. But for now, let's finish this up. So if we go and we look at what's next, we need the particle effect. So let's look for our particle effect, which would be right here, this little nether star. So we're going to click on that, drag it into our inventory, right click on this, and it will show you a big list of particles that you can, pick whatever one you want. Let's just say we want it to be followed by, for the sake of this, let's just do flame. It's pretty easy to see, it looks kind of cool. Now, obviously they're not, how are they going to get this item? Well, let's duplicate this real quick by clicking middle mouse button on that if you can, or just remake another one. And let's say, when the player joins, we're going to want to do item management, then give items, and then put the assault rifle in here. So now when they join the game, it's going to give them the assault rifle. So play. Whenever I right click, it's going to do this. I can hold it down and it'll keep going. As you can see, it's kind of looking weird. It's not really, if you look from the character, you can see it's kind of launching from your feet area. Even when you're like looking up, it doesn't really do anything. So the reason for this is, if we go back to our location right here, you can see how there's like a list of zeros under where it says default player. What we can do is sneak right click on that one, and then we can either tell it to go up or down. So we're going to tell it to go up 1. So, oops, I didn't confirm it. You always have to do +1 and then confirm. There we go. So now if we do play, oops, I clicked it. There we go. Maybe, if we're lucky, forgot to do forward by like 0.3ish, 0.4, 0.5. There we go. Confirm that and see what's going on here, because this is being annoying. Oh, the launch speed. So the launch speed's not very high. I'm being an idiot about this. It's the launch speed, guys. We need to make it like 10. Nope, not 109. That would be pretty insane. There we go. Now it launches more like a bullet. But yeah, just play with the launch speed until you get to wherever you want. So now you can see I can hold it down, which this is like ridiculously fast. That would kill someone really fast. So let's just go back into developer. What we can do is add a delay here. Or maybe that's like how you want it, but you can, if you don't want it like that, we can add a delay. Now here's where we're going to be learning in the next episode, is how to do the delay, because it involves variables, and I want the variables to have their own little lesson, I guess. So basically my challenge to you is, for the next episode, is to do a player, when they left click, I want it to do, if they're holding whatever item you want, I want it to launch maybe a snowball or an egg or something that can be launched, or something like that. So basically you want to be doing this, but for the left click and not an arrow. Just launch whatever. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you enjoyed, make sure you leave a like if you find it helpful, and subscribe. It really helps me. And I'll see you guys later. Peace out.